Good morning, students. Today we shall continue with the remaining part of the lesson, Bahmani Adil Shahs. Now, as I told you, I have finished with the three kings. Now, for the next we will go to Nizam Shah of Ahmednagar. So, in 1490 CE, that is Common Era, Malik Ahmad, who was a chief of Junnar province, founded his own state of Ahmednagar. So this was the person named as Malik Ahmad who founded the state of Ahmednagar, and he established the Nizam Shah dynasty. He took Daulatabad, a place called Daulatabad, under his control, and he expanded his empire. After him, there were some other rulers who came, and but they were not very good administrators, they were not very good rulers, they were only for namesake. So the persons who have come after him were Burhan, Hussain Nizam, Murtaza. They were the sultans who came after Malik Ahmad, and they were not very competent rulers, they were not able administrators. For only for namesake they took over the throne. After the death of Chand Bibi, Ahmednagar declined. So after Chand Bibi's death, Ahmednagar declined. The pomp and power of Ahmednagar came to an end. And later in 1637 CE, that is during the period of Shah Jahan, Mughal king Ahmednagar was merged into the Mughal state. So after Chand Bibi's death, Ahmednagar lost its power. So during the period of Shah Jahan, who was a Mughal king, Ahmednagar was merged into the Mughal state. Now let us come to the next, that is Imad Shah of Berar. His rule was from 1490 to 1580 CE, and the founder of Imad Shah dynasty was Fatullah, and he founded it was founded in the year 1490 CE, and the title that Fatullah got was Imad ul Mulk. Now let us come to this dynasty, Imad Shahs of Berar, from 1490 to 1580 CE. After the fall of the Bahmani kingdom, 5 sultan states came into existence. We have already seen, after the fall of Bahmani kingdom, 5 Shahi states or sultan states came into existence. Imad Shah dynasty of Berar is one among them. It was situated between the Pen-Ganga and the Wainganga rivers, and the founder of this dynasty was Fatullah, and he founded it in year 1490 CE, and the capital of this dynasty was Elichpur, and the title which he got was Imad ul Mulk. And after the death of this sultan in 1504 CE, his son Alauddin Imad Shah came to power. So you know, the throne or the power was passed from, it was hereditary, it was passed from father to son and so on. When they were eligible for the throne and they were of the correct age, the throne or the power was given to them. After the death of the father, the son used to take the power of the kingdom or the throne. So after his death, his son Alauddin Imad Shah came to power, but he was an incompetent king. He was not a very good ruler, and after his death, his son Darya Imad Shah came to power. Even during his rule, Berar dynasty continued its battle with the neighboring kings, and after the death of Darya Ahmad Shah also, his younger son Burhan Ahmad Shah took over the power, and during his rule the power came into the hands of another person called as Tufail Khan, and so the the Berar dynasty fell into the hands of the Vijaypur Sultan. At last, the Berar dynasty was taken over by the Vijaypur Sultan. Now, we will come to the contributions of the Adil Shahs. What are their contributions? In which field they have contributed? So, they have done a number of contributions in the field of education, literature, music, fine arts, art and sculpture, etc. So, one by one, education. These Adil Shahs, they were great lovers of education. They supported education very much and they encouraged it also. Their education policy was to develop Islamic culture. So what was their education policy? Their education policy was to develop the Islamic culture. Maktab, that is mosques, and madrasas, that is colleges, were the educational centers during their time. Philosophy, religion, poetry, law and other subjects were taught in these maktabs and madrasas, and educational institutions were all under the king's guidance, under the king's patronage. He used to encourage it and he used to guide them also. Coming to the literature, the contribution of Adil Shahs to the literature is very, very important, and literature became very rich during the period of the Adil Shahs, and the kings themselves were poets. The kings themselves have written many poets and they have written many works. They were very intelligent and they were poets themselves, and many books were written in Persian, Urdu and Kannada languages. Some of the Persian poets you can see is Ferista, and he has written Tariq-e-Ferista and Gulshan-e-Ibrahim. Another one Urdu poet is Abdul's Ibrahim Nama, and one more is Mullah Nasrati's Ali Nama, and another Kannada poet is Narahari of Torave. He has written Torave Ramayana. So these are some of the important poets and their works. One is a Persian poet and another one is a Urdu poet and one is the Kannada poet. So the kings, they encouraged literature. They themselves were good writers and they have written a number of poems and other works also. Coming to the music, Yusuf Adil Shah and Ibrahim Adil Shah too, these were the two persons who were very, very good musicians. And Ibrahim Adil Shah's work was Kitab-e-Navras, and it was a very, very great work in music. And he also opened a music school in order to encourage the music and promote the music. And women of royal families and rich families, that is very princely class, they used to come there and learn the music, and who were interested in music, the women from the royal families and the rich families, they used to come and learn music in this music school, and this he opened a music school specially for them. Coming to the fine arts, Ibrahim too was a fine artist. His drawings and paintings are very, very beautiful. His court had many Persian artists also, and there are beautiful paintings of flower pots, flowers, plants, creepers and other nature scenes were painted on their houses, on the walls of their houses and walls of the mosques and also on the floor. So they were lovers of art. They used to love drawing and painting a lot. These paintings helps to know their interest and the traditions of the people. So if you look at these paintings, you will see their interest and also their tradition also. Next is art and sculpture. In the history of art and sculpture of Karnataka, the buildings of Adil Shahs of Bijapur are very, very important. They have built many mosques and they have built many forts also, and also the palaces, tombs and other monuments are built in the Indo-Islamic style. So, what is a tomb? It is nothing but a monument of a dead person and it is erected over them. A building Its tomb is nothing but it will be a dome shape. That is, a tomb is nothing but a monument of a dead person. After the death, after the burial, on that grave, that structure is built, and it is called as a tomb. So these Adil Shahs, they built many forts, mosques, tombs, and all their that building style was in the Indo-Islamic style. Coming to the forts, now which are some of the important forts there. The fort of Bijapur is a big one, and it has 96 bastions, that is the domes which are built on the fort, and 6 main entrances are there. So the fort of Bijapur is the big one, and it has 96 domes and 6 main entrances are there to the fort. Some of the important palaces were the Gagan Palace. In 1962 CE, Ibrahim Adil Shah built it, and it has got 3 stories. It is a 3-storied tower. Another one is the Mehtar Mahal. It also has 3 stories, and Ibrahim Adil Shah has built it. It was built by Ibrahim Adil Shah, and it is famous for its fine and delicate decorations. And in Asar Mahal, rooms have different paintings which are painted on them. Now coming to the mosque, that is the Jamia Masjid. It's a very famous mosque, and it was built by Ali Adil Shah, and it has very wide prayer hall, and it is a common building without any decorations. If you go to this mosque, you will see that there is no decorations, and it has a very wide, a very big prayer hall is there, and it has a different new style among other art monuments. Next is the Ibrahim Roza, which was built by Ibrahim Adil Shah II in the memory of his wife Taj Begum, and it is in Bijapur. Even now also all these monuments, all these structures are still there. If you visit these places, you can see the glory of this dynasty of the Bahmani Adil Shahs. So Ibrahim Roza was built by Ibrahim Adil Shah II. It was built in his memory of his wife Taj Begum, and it is in Bijapur. It has a tomb of Ibrahim and his relatives, and it is the only Roza in India, and it is also called as Taj Mahal of South India. So what is Taj Mahal of South India? Ibrahim Roza is called as Taj Mahal of South India. Now coming to Gol Gumbaz, you all are familiar with that, is it not? It is Bijapur is famous for Gol Gumbaz. Nobody will come back, without visiting the Gol Gumbaz, and it is the main speciality of this Gol Gumbaz is it can echo sound 7 times. Once you say something, that echo, you can hear your sound for 7 times. That is, it is called as a whispering gallery. So Muhammad built this Gol Gumbaz, and he built Gol Gumbaz, which is a domed tomb, in 1656 CE, and it is in Bijapur. It has a big dome with a whispering chamber inside, and it is a fine example of technology at that time. Even in those days also they have used wonderful technology, and they were so intelligent people also that they have made use of their technology, and it has a whispering gallery which can echo sound up to 7 times. And this is the second largest dome in the world and the first largest dome in India. So if you visit Bijapur anytime, you can visit some of these monuments. These are world famous, and it is also a tourist attraction. You can see many tourists, foreign tourists, they come and they visit these places and they enjoy the beauty of these monuments, seeing the art, architecture, sculptures and the paintings on the walls and the designs that they have made. So if you visit these places, you can see the glory of the Bahmani Adil Shahs. So this is the end of the lesson, children. After this, you watch this video, and then I will be sending the remaining notes, remaining part. I have sent you, I think, a few question answers Remaining part I will be sending you, and write it very neatly in your books. And after that you have to learn these question answers also. We will have an exam, and then you will have to write it down. So be prepared. Daily you can learn at least 2, and when you learn it, you learn with the spellings. Thank you.